Hi everyone, I'm pro saxophonist Jamie Anderson and you're watching Get Your Sax Together live. Viewers' submissions, our favourite time of the month. I can already see we've got loads of people in the chat, so welcome to you. Mel is here. Let's just give Mel a quick hello before we even start. You're muted, love. You're muted. You're muted. The show's off to... Oh, there she is. I just thought you want to say hello to everybody, that's all.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear what you've just said over the top. There's some sort of double thing going on.
Oh, that's not very good, is it?
Yeah, no, that's why I'm a little bit confused. Sorry.
Okay.
I can. Oh.
Where are you hearing it from? Anyway, look, I'm going to do my intro and we'll come back to that little technical glitch in a second.
I know what it is.
What is it?
It's because I had the live on another tab.
Oh.
It's a good start, isn't it?
Really pro start to this Get Your Sax Together session. Love it.
Just my second time. I'm so sorry.
Right, I'm going to get rid of you for a minute.
Okay.
Right, so it's always fun and games when we do these lives. It's always a technical wrestle. I'm always trying to stay right at the cutting edge of the available technology in this house. Right, so welcome to the show. We've got some fantastic videos to review tonight. Mel's going to say hello to everybody in the chat in a minute. So if you would like to submit your video to the show, which I would love you to do and Mel would love you to do, simply use that URL right there. You can get all the information. An automatic email will be sent to you how you submit your video. It's going to be a 1-minute video. You send us a little bit of information, like about how long you've been playing, and you'll be featured on the show. I can't guarantee it'll be that month because sometimes there's a bit of a backlog, but please do submit your video. So that's the first thing. I'm going to steam through all these announcements as fast as I can. Second of all, the Get Your Sax Together new merch shop is open, available for business. And the URL you can see there, getyoursaxtogetherstore.com. Simple as that. My favourite thing is the Get Your Socks Together. So check out that. But the mugs are great. The t-shirts are wicked. And for all of you that got to wear a face mask, there's an awesome face mask in there, which has got a nice little slogan on it that says, I pull it down to play my sax. You're going to love that. So that's the store. As always, please do... that's the wrong card. Good start. Right. As always, please do check out the Saxophone Success Masterclass. Is going to be one of those nights. Lovely. This is a free 1-hour session with me where I take you through everything that you can possibly imagine to do with saxophone. It's a really, really awesome free gift. You just go to the URL, fill in your name and email, and you can watch that free 1-hour masterclass. That's really great value. And then the card that should have come up is, of course, about... I'm going to bring in Mel. Yes, improvisation mastery team. So that is the latest news that very soon indeed, improvisation mastery. In fact, I've started filming it. I don't know if you saw on Facebook. We are a few weeks away from the course coming out, so that's all exciting stuff. Right, I think that is probably all the parish notices. I'm going to go over to Mel, who's going to unmute herself and say hello to a few people.
Hi everybody, I'm so sorry about that shaky start there. Right, so I've got a few of the comments up beside me. I can see there's a lot more than I can see right here, but I'm just going to shout out a few people. So Losif, hello and welcome. Piper Juan, Rob Stevens, Paolo, Ron, Tom Tresco, Ugor. And Ugo, yes, we will be doing the reviews and you can answer questions after. I think I did answer that for you. Claude, Mark Hadfield, Larry, you're on tonight. So excited to see your video. Ronald, Ian Sim, Gary Payne, Princess Ribena from sunny Suffolk, and Theo Van Dorn from Belgium. So, Brian. Hi, Brian. You're on tonight as well. That's exciting. So thank you everyone for the lovely warm welcome, and yes, I'm back and I'm going to be here to stay, I think, for these monthlies, so yay.
Cool, thanks love. Okay, probably it's about time we get into the videos, which is what we're all here from. Thank you so much everyone for joining us. I can see there's people from all over the place, including Bristol, UK. I think I saw somebody from Belgium in there. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Let's start looking at the videos. Okay, fantastic. Over to Mel, and who is first up?
Okay, first up this evening, we have Philomateo Chakunley. I really hope, Philip, that I've said that right.
That's
Philip
easy for you to say.
Yeah, Philip sent us in a video of him doing a blues jam, and it says, here is a video of me jamming to some BB King tune. I think he's in Germany. Oh, this is Jamie saying he thinks that you're in Germany and he thinks he taught you once. So let's have a little listen to Philip's.
Okie dokes. Right. Now then, if I play my cards right, we should both be on screen for these reactions, which is quite cool. Here we go. Yes. Right, here we go. All right, fantastic. Almost went round again there. That was great. Okay, let me just go over to my little cam here. Right. So, Philip, fantastic. That was absolutely awesome. And the thing I love most about this submission is that there's so much passion and energy in your playing, which I really love. And yeah, I'm sure that we had a lesson many moons ago. So I hope things are going well for you. So my tips for you, we're playing 12 bar blues here. And what are we in? Is it concert G? Yeah. Right. And I've noticed that you're using the major pentatonic scale a lot, which is cool. And sometimes you're even using the major scale itself. But I think you should start looking at using the blues pentatonic and the blues scale. So for alto sax, we're in the key of E. I'm just going to talk in alto pitch for a moment. I can see Hannah's just joined. Yes. Hannah, the super fan. Love it. Right. Hannah, you need to submit a video, by the way. What you doing, girl? Come on. Get it in. Right. Back to the plot. So instead of using that major pentatonic, you can do the same pentatonic, but flatten the third. So instead of a G sharp, you're going to have a G natural. So that's the first thing. You can flatten that G sharp and make it a little bit bluesier. Second thing you can do is use the minor blues scale. Now, if you're a bit confused about what's a major blues scale, what's a minor blues scale, I talk about that in Improvisation Mastery, and I explain it all in very easy to follow detail, so look out for that. But basically the notes for the E minor pentatonic, the blues pentatonic, are going to be E, G, A, B flat, B, so you got A, B flat and B all together, and D, and that sounds like this. So when you're jamming on this BB King thing, you can just be a bit more bluesy, you know? You can add these blue notes in, especially that G natural. The minor blues scale is going to sound that little bit dirtier, a bit more minor and bluesy, and the major blues scale will still sound bluesy, but it's a little bit more polite. Okay, so I'll do a quick impression, not an impression, but I'll use the major pentatonic that you were using in the blues, and then I'll switch to the minor pentatonic blues scale, and then the major blues scale, if you like, and then the minor blues scale. So here we go. So I hope those comments are useful for you, Philip. As usual, everybody shout at me if if I've got my mic accidentally muted, but I think I'm so far so good. But yeah, thanks very much for submitting that video. Absolutely fantastic. Love your passion. Keep playing. Let's see if the applause button's working, shall we? Hey! Okay, next caller, please.
All right. Yeah, we've got Philip in the comments there, and he said, yes, you did teach him, and thanks once again. So nice to see you in the comments there. And also just wanted to say, lovely to see you all having a little chat in the comments and sharing some advice. That's awesome. And I also want to second Hannah, super fan, big player in the 3-day challenge recently. We want to see your video up here, please, Hannah. Okay, so next up we have Linda Hadry. Linda is from Bavaria in Germany, and she has total toe mastery. And I just wanted to tell you what she said in her email about it. The information I've read so far is excellent. I've never found this in such detail in a German saxophone book. Thank you very much for your commitment, your excellent work, your imparting, your extraordinary knowledge, and your joy in the music and enthusiasm. We're going to get a big head. It's going to come off the screen soon. So Linda has sent us a clip playing Summertime. So let's have a listen. All right, cool. Let's check it out. Right, here she is. I keep forgetting it doesn't play. Excellent. Fantastic stuff. Love that. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, how good is it to hear a bit of soprano sax for a change? We absolutely love that. So if you're out there and you're a soprano player, get your submission in, because it's really nice to hear the soprano. And I may say, really, really well in tune, Linda, because soprano, as everybody in this chat knows, or a lot of people in this chat know, is not an easy instrument to keep in tune. And I thought your tuning was excellent. Love your passion, love the enthusiasm. You're making all those little changes. You obviously know the right chords and scales. So really, really strong work. And you're obviously like a really strong performer. I think you'd have a real magnetic sort of personality on stage if you were doing a gig. So well done, you. My comments are just two little comments. One is about the vibrato. I think your vibrato is a little kind of quite fast. Maybe you could just slow your vibrato down a little bit. My soprano's over there in the cupboard. I'm not going to get it out now. I'll just show you an alto. So your vibrato is a bit like... And I think you could afford to slow that vibrato down a little bit. So that was my first comment. And then my second comment was going to be, if you transcribe some fantastic jazz solos, and this again, it's long playing records, broken record rather, this is all in improvisation mastery, but if you transcribe some records of some fantastic players, you're going to learn how some jazz language, which when you're improvising on a famous song like Summertime, it's going to make your solos sound that little bit more authoritative and a little bit more authentic, if you like it. If you learn the jazz language, just a few licks and how those players negotiate those changes, you're really going to have that kind of that depth in your solos, that you're going to hear the history of the music when you play, and you're going to sound more authentic, and people are going to, because people are used to hearing jazz, they're used to hearing hard bop. When you kind of use similar language, people feel quite reassured by that. So when they hear your solos, they think, oh, do you know what? That reminds me of my favourite records. And subconsciously to the listener, you're going to sound stronger. So my recommendation to you is to go and transcribe
just start with one solo, you know, Miles Davis or a Sonny Rollins, Sonny Stitt, you know, somebody really classic, and see if you can incorporate some of the things you learned from that solo into your playing. But fantastic job. Round of applause, everyone, for silent round of applause from around the world. Linda. Okie dokie, who's the next caller?
Okay, that was great, Linda. Love your moves. Just saying that Mark Smith in the comments said, Jamie, do a video on soprano sax. So, little thing there for you. Okay, next up,
I'll
we
look
have
into
David.
I'll let me just butt in. Yeah, I have got
God.
one video on soprano, I think, where I do that Kenny G solo from the what's his name? Who's the rapper, love? Who headlined Glastonbury? Married to Beyonce, I think. No.
Jay-Z?
No. Not married to Beyonce.
We're really showing our age here that we don't know the modern stuff.
Oh, a couple of boomers.
Oh,
somebody in the chat.
I'll text my daughter or anyone in the chat. Tell us who it was. We can't remember. We're too old.
It'll come to me in a second. Anyway, sorry. Right, continue.
So yes, next up we have David Smokler, and David has done a video of him doing a fast fingers exercise. He's been playing for 3 years. He comes from Toronto, and he introduces himself in the video.
Okay, awesome. Let's have a listen. Set this one up. This is actually my faster fingers exercise, which is my video number 21, which you can find on YouTube, which is a wonderful technical exercise. Let's hear David, and he does introduce himself.
Hi, my name is David Smokler. I live in Toronto. I started playing the saxophone 3 years ago, and I'm hoping to get better.
Jazzing it up. All right, thanks very much, David. Fantastic. By the way, if somebody just wants to quickly Google Use This Gospel, that's the name of the track that I'm talking about with the Kenny G soprano sax in it. Use This Gospel. No, Summing This Gospel. Is it Use? Anyway, we'll get to the bottom of this just shortly. Oh, hang on. Mel's got it. Right, to you, love.
It's Kanye West.
That's it.
But I just want to say that a couple of people in the comments said The Weeknd, and he has actually done something with The Weeknd as well. So you were right, but the one Jamie's talking about is Kanye West.
Yeah, Kanye West. That's got the Kenny G solo on. So go and check out that video. That's a good one. Somebody in the comments, Ian Simmer said, I've got the Kenny G haircut. Really? I thought Kenny G had a big curly shock of hair in his head, so I'm quite surprised by that one. Anyway, let's get back to David. Okay, so some of you might be familiar with this technical exercise. Now, before you think he was kind of doing it a little bit slowly and, you know, what's going on, because I'm sure you're all used to starting off, like it says on the sheet, in the key of G and blasting into it. But David's actually doing it in the hardest possible key, which is F sharp on alto. I forgot to breathe properly. Author of Total Tone Mastery, and I forgot to breathe properly. There you go. So, my comment for you, David, is you've done a fantastic job because it's actually a very hard key. And I love the way that you jazzed it up the second time. That's actually quite a skillful way of practicing an exercise. Do it straight and then do it with a different rhythm because your fingers have to move a different way. So it reinforces the pattern better. So that's actually a really smart way to practice. So my comment to you is when you're doing this technical exercise and you're doing it in the key of F sharp, you have to mix up when you use the bis key and when you don't. So this is what I do on this particular pattern. I go do do bis do do side do do side do do bis. Okay, so you can replay this video if you need to. I'll do it one more time. So you're starting on F sharp. I'll put my fingers like that. Look, do do bis do do side do side do bis. So you kind of mix up when you use the side B flat, or A sharp in this case, and the bis key, A sharp in this case. Now, there's a lot of debate about the bis key, whether you should use it or not. Personally, unless I have to, I would never use side B flat. I'm a bis man through and through, and my very strong suggestion to any sax players out there who don't use the bis key B flat is to start using it with immediate effect for every B flat you play, and take it from there. You can even roll off it from B flat to B. It's no big deal. So that's my only comment in that one, but a fantastic job, David. Thanks very much for introducing yourself and for submitting your video, and hopefully a lot of people can learn from all these comments that I'm making about everybody else. So let's have a round of applause from around the world for David. Okie dokes. Next caller.
All right, next up we have a clip from Tim Blanchard, and this is what Tim says. So this is a clip of an alto solo I played on the song Soulful Dress. It was my attempt to play an in-your-face blast. In terms of my background, I've been playing for quite a while in a range of bands around London. I tend to gig on tenor, but this was a short outing for my alto. By the way, I've bought your Total Tone Mastery course, which I found really good. Although I've been playing for a long time, there was a range of stuff in there that was new to me, and I'm convinced that my tone has improved in the past few months. So thank you. So this is Tim Blanchard with an in-your-face blast on the song Soulful Dress.
Okay, let's give it a go. Now, is it the trimmed version? It is, yeah, wicked. Right, okay, here we go.
Can I just say as well, sorry, I forgot to mention that was a video taken from somebody in the audience. So, yeah. But...
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So, that last note, though, that was insane. I love that. Okay, Tim, fantastic job. Love that. Love the energy. Love the passion. Love the wailing blues energy. So, absolutely great job on that. Listening to that, I've got a little tip for you, which is... So we're in, I think it was concert C, right? Yeah, concert C. So that's a blues in A for alto. Right. Now, you're obviously all over that blues scale. You can hear it all through your solo. You're absolutely smashing that blues scale. And I think for you, it's time to learn a few little chord tones. So when you get to what we bar 10, when you get to bar 9 of the blues, which is the turnaround, when it goes to chord 5, that would throw us into an E7 on alto. And the notes would be E, G sharp, B, and D. And then it goes to chord 4, which would be a D7, which is D, F sharp, A, and C. Anybody that's learning their chord tones and just patted themselves on the back for getting those chord notes, well done. So my tip for you is, I think you're ready to throw in a couple of these little chord tones at the turnaround just to break up the blues scale a little bit. You can even just use the triads, okay? So let me just kind of do a blues. I'll just play a blues in concert C, A for alto. When I get to that turnaround, see what I do. I'll stick to the blues scale for the rest of it. When I get to the turnaround, I'll just do the E triad and the D triad, and you'll see how it really just makes the chorus come alive, if you know what I mean. I'll try and demonstrate that for you all. So you might have heard when I get to that turnaround that I'm throwing in the notes of the E triad and the D triad for the E7 and the D7. So that's just going to make your solo just kind of stand out from that sea of blues scale. And whatever you do on the E, do it down a tone on the D. That works really great. So anything in this kind of genre works really well. And then when you go back to your blues scale again, it's going to sound fantastic. So that's my little tip for you. But wow, that was like proper Junior Walker finish to that solo. That was superb. Love that. So thanks very much, Tim. Let's have a round of applause for Tim, everyone. Who's up next?
Well done, Tim. I do think we've got Tim here with us as well. I think he's watching at the moment. So next up is Tosh Kuhn. I hope I've said that right, Tosh. Tosh has sent in a video of a technical exercise, and he just says, "I'm trying." But he also says he has noticed his cramped left hand position, kind of embarrassing for a lefty. So let's have a listen to Tosh's video.
Okie dokes, bear with me. I didn't actually mean to do that little move. I meant to do that. Okay, here we go. And here we go. Clear your throat. Every moment of that was, oh, what a trip. Fantastic. Well done, Tosh. Love that. I was like, come on, we can make it. Brilliant. Okay, I don't know what the exercise that was. If I was a proper sax player, I probably would. But if anybody recognises that exercise, please let me know in the comments. So, great job there, Tosh. Okay, a couple of little tips for you. Number one, yeah, I think you correctly identified. All right, let's see if any Get Your Sax Together fans know what I call this hand position. It's going to be a few seconds to come through. Special prize for the first person that tells me what you call this hand position, this incorrect, I should say, hand position. My slang name for it. Anyway, this, once somebody comes in the comments, I'll say it out loud. But this is what you're doing slightly, Tosh. You need to drop your left wrist down. So you need a nice straight line from through your wrist and your forearm. So don't break your wrist like this at an angle. Keep it nice and dropped down. Yes, Larry's beaver hands. Beaver paws, yeah. Don't have beaver paws. So keep your left wrist down. See how my fingers are basically horizontal. They're not pointing down. So that's the first little tip. Second thing is, yeah, everyone's coming through with the beaver paws now. Beaver porn. That's good. Duck fingers. Yeah, duck fingers would work as well. So my second tip is you might already do this because we don't know. But if you're not already doing it, practice with a metronome and practice your metronome at the tempo at which you can just comfortably play that pattern throughout without stopping or without fumbling. Now, if you do fumble on it, just slow it down a little bit more. So this means probably playing the whole exercise slower because There are little bits that you're knocking over and little bits that you're really good at. But what you want to do is, and here's the third little tip for you, practice tip. Don't practice all the stuff that you can already do. Isolate the problem. So play your exercise. If you knock a bit over and you stumble, don't go back to the start. Don't play the rest of it that you already know. Spend some time working on that small cell that you got wrong. You correct that. Then you join it up. And then maybe there's another bit that you knock over. You stop. You slow your metronome down. You work out that bit. Now, if you only concentrate on the bits that you can't do, you are going to really improve 10 times faster. So this goes for everybody. If you're practicing a scale, and let's say you're going right to the top of the horn and you're going down again on a C major scale, and you get up into the palm keys and suddenly like everything goes completely wrong, don't go back to the start of the scale. Just go to the bit that you messed up and slowly work it until it's really good. Then join it up with the rest. So fantastic submission. Thanks very much for submitting that pattern. That was quite a trip. I loved it. Okay, round of applause for Tosh. Okay, let's keep motoring. Who's up next?
All right, just before we go into the next one, I just wanted to say it's really lovely seeing you all supporting each other in the comments and everyone bigging everybody up when they've submitted a video. It must be quite daunting, whether you're a complete beginner or if you're, quite experienced, it must be quite daunting. So thank you everybody that's supporting each other in the comments. And My Rackley noticed that Tim's video was the half moon in Putney. So you were absolutely right. That was in his email. So next up, we have Yuhani and Yala. And I love Yuhani for two reasons. One, because he's spelled out phonetically how I should say his name. So thank you for that, Yuhani. But also, these outfits are killing it. I love this whole band. Take a look. It's a rock and roll outro. Take a look. This is madness of the highest order. It's wicked. I love it.
The best bit is at 40 seconds when a new character comes on, so watch out for that one, folks. This is pretty classic. By the way, somebody came up with Ronald Macaulay reckons that exercise was from H. Close Etudes for Saxophones #2. Yes, Ronald, you're my hero. I'm such a bad sax player for not knowing that. Thank you for bailing me out. Maybe you should have your own show. Okay, let's find this. Who am I looking for? Who are we playing? Yuhani?
Yeah, it's not. It's Yuhani.
Yuhani. Oh, yeah.
And Yala.
Yuhani.
Yuhani and Yala.
Okay, here we go. Yes!
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that was called Rock and Roll!
Rock and roll! Love it. How special was that?
Sorry, I've just got to go. Those trousers and those shoes. Wow.
In the sax break, where he like kicks the stage with shoes before the drum mess about for the big finish. That was awesome. Okay, yes, thank you so much for submitting that clip. That was just so colourful and awesome. And what I really loved about your solo there was the way, even though you probably weren't even thinking about it, you were using what I describe as motifs when you're improvising. This was in the 3-day improvisation challenge for anybody that remembers. You just get going. You did it like 3 or 4 times in a row. The chord changed underneath and the notes still fitted. It was awesome. Now, I noticed that you're playing outside, and if it was cold, that can affect the tuning of the sax. So that's my only little, thing I would pick up on there is just watch your intonation. I think some of the notes are a little bit flat, which is quite unusual for the high notes in sax, which makes me wonder if it was quite a cold day. I've certainly done some gigs where you know, it's absolutely freezing and your tuning is all over the place. In fact, not to name drop, but I'm just about to name drop. This week, I was called to play with Joan Armour Trading. We'll be doing a live stream, and it was in this really cool church called the Asylum in South London. But my God, it was freezing and it just never warmed up. And I had probably 10 or 12 numbers off, and then I had to come on straight in and play this solo. One of them was Love and Affection. Some of you might know that tune. But when you've got a cold sax, so as soon as I went on stage, I had to, you know, blow warm air down your sax and try and warm it up. So that's my tip. That's what I did on this particular gig this week. And that's what I would advise you all to do, no matter what your gig is. If you're playing outside, you kind of, you know, like you're steaming up a window, like warm, hot air, finger a low B flat, and then all that warm air will go all the way through the whole tube to try and warm up your saxophone. And the other time this is a problem, which is probably not a problem for you guys, but when I play in the West End and you have to just pick up an instrument, bang, and you're in, and your instrument's all cold. Maybe they've got air conditioning in the pit or something. So tuning is a real issue when you're in a cold environment on sax. So just watch out for that one. Try and warm up your sax a bit before you blow the notes. But that was super cool, really colourful, and those outfits definitely need special mention. So a round of applause. Rock and roll! Right, who's next?
So fantastic. All right. So next up we have, oh, do you know what? I need to just say something that I forgot to say right at the start, that I was going to say we've decided, but I've decided that I'm going to have a little Mel's monthly pick. So each one of these live shows, I'm going to pick my favourite. And this one was almost on my favourite. I think it's done so beautifully, and also it's my son's name and the little song we sing to my son, or we did when he was little. So this is Mike Potter doing Sunny, and he says, I've been playing sax for about 15 years and I started playing in my 40s. So this is one of my favourites for this show. Mike Potter with Sunny.
Awesome. Now look, that goes to show it's never too late to, number one, start sax, and it's never too late to improve and get really good. I mean, I've got people who have emailed me who, no exaggeration, are 95 plus and they're still playing and they sound great. So even if you're 50, 60, you know, you might be retired, you've just taken it up and you haven't played for 20, 30 years, it's not too late. You can teach an old dog new tricks, and you should teach old dogs new tricks for sure. Okay, let's dial up the video. We're looking for Mike Potter. Here we go. He's playing Sunny Bear. Yes, oh, did I start to play it again? Almost. Fantastic, love that. Really, that was absolutely awesome. Fantastic. Thanks very much for submitting that. I love your tone. Your rhythm is great. You played the head really well. Your solo's really tight. Really like those 16th rhythms, really dialed in. So absolutely fantastic improvising on that one. My comment to you is that I think, in fact, you should definitely buy this, because I'll go into this in detail. You can start moving away from this pentatonic. What were we in? A minor? Yeah. Yeah. Which puts you in B minor for tenor. Do you know what? I was literally just saying about having a cold instrument, and I've got the door open to get a bit more light. Oh, I forgot to say at the start of the show, I'm really put out because my main camera is actually indoors at the moment because I'm starting to shoot improvisation mastery, and Mel's camera on her iMac looks so much better than my Logitech webcam. I just do not like having inferior video quality. Right, let's cut to me for a sec. Okay, so you're in B minor for tenor, aren't you? Now, I think if you do a little bit of research on your chord tones, then so what are the chords there? Yeah, so it does a 2-5-1 to concert F, which is a 2-5-1 to concert G for us on tenor. Winging it a little bit here with my ears. So, Mike, when you're improvising, learn how to play a 2-5-1 in the key of G, which is A minor 7, D7, G major 7, and then in the part of the song where it goes in that bit, you can do a 2-5-1 to G, and you could learn a fantastic lick to go in there. You can learn the chord tones for the A minor 7, D7 to G major 7. And that'll really make your solo stand out. One other little tip on this tune, because I think you're quite an advanced player and I think you can handle this. And sometimes people complain that it's all about beginners on this show, but it's not. It's a wide range of people. And also, we review the videos that are sent in. So if you're an advanced player and you want your video reviewed, just send it in, man, and it will get reviewed. So here's another little advanced tip. So when you're going from that B minor 7, and then it goes down to A minor 7 to do a 2-5-1 to G, you could throw in a cheeky little B flat minor 7, like a little chromatic chord. So whatever you play in the B minor 7, play it in B flat minor 7, and then play it in A minor 7. And that's really going to give you a little standout phrase. So let's see if I can demonstrate that. So if I went from the start of the song to give you some context, unfortunately I don't have a backing track. Here we go. So hopefully you could hear what I did there. You could do something like that, or a little tritone substitution for the D7. You could do the A flat 7. But anything that you can do with that little chromatic passing chord is going to sound really cool on this song. I'm going to play it one more time. Not because I need to, just because I love it. Oh, how good's that song? How good is that song? So glad I named my son after that. Well, it was actually Sonny Rollins, to be fair, but we do love that song. But all technical slip sliding minor 7s apart, really fantastic job. You're sounding really, really great. And I'm only giving this advanced information because I think you can do it. And I think you've got the skills to take your improvisation to the next layer up of complexity while still sounding soulful. If you're in the chat and your eyes were glazing over there when I started talking about that stuff, don't worry, it's a slightly more advanced thing, but you'll find out all about it in the course anyway. So round of applause for Mike. That was wicked. Love that. Right, we're getting on. Who's next?
All right. I just want to mention a couple of people in the comments then. So Mad Tambi said that they started playing in their 50s. Mark Smith when he was 36. And Mark, yes, I love the Boney M one too. And yes, our son was named after Sonny Rollins. So, yeah. And Rob Stevens restarted playing in his 60s. So there's quite a lot of you out there that came to it, you know, let's say after 20. So
Hey,
next
Wally's,
up,
I've got to give a shout out to Wally, who's in the chat, Saxophone Academy.
Oh, Wally, hey. I haven't seen him. Where is he?
He's under Saxophone Academy. He just says,
Saxophone
nice
Academy.
play. Thanks, Wally.
Okay,
Welcome to
okay.
the show. God,
Welcome
we are
to
in
the show.
esteemed company. Right, who's
So,
next
Mark-
up, love?
Mark, our daughter is called Jasmine, not Candy. Right, so next up we have Carrie Vinikanen. Once again, apologies. Now, Carrie's given us quite a bit of information, and a lot of it is very technical saxophone stuff that I have no idea. So if I say it wrong, apologies. So he's done Georgia for us. Carrie is from Finland. He says he's 72 years old stroke young. He's especially flutist so far, about 60 years. But I play also saxophone in our band. I think this is slightly broken English, bless him. In our band, which is 140 years old. No charter members anymore with it. My tenor is a Selma France Mark 6 from the 60s. Don't laugh at me.
This is brilliant. Keep going.
Stop it. You can correct me if I say anything wrong. I found that tenor from the back of a band room and I fixed it. I think it will be in good condition someday. It needs, of course, a pro reparation money. Tenor has Selma Soloist MP C star and
That's mouthpiece, love.
Royal 3. Pardon?
Mouthpiece.
Mouthpiece. Okay, let's start again. The tenor has Okay, the tenor has a Selma Soloist mouthpiece, C star, and Rico Royal 3. And then he also says his daughter arrived some days ago from Georgia, but this is not the Georgia in the song, but that's really lovely. So let's have a listen to Carrie.
Okay, wicked. Right, so he's going to play Georgia. I've actually played in Georgia, believe it or not the American Georgia, but in the country of Georgia, which is in the Caucasus, and I did a New Year's Eve gig there. In fact, I played there a couple of times. So, fun fact. Right, let's find Carrie. Here we go. Georgia. Just before I play this, I should mention. Did I mention Improvisation Master yet? Anyway, there's an entire module which teaches you how to play in chord sequences, and I teach it by showing you how to play on Georgia. So there's another fun fact. Okay, let's hear this. Now, instantly, before I even play this, I'm thinking that looks like the sort of Joe Henderson type setup with the hard rubber, Selma mouthpiece, and the Mark 6. But let's hear what it sounds like. And we run out of time at the bridge. Oh, how good was that? That's really awesome. Fantastic job there. Really enjoyed that. Right, let's switch back to sort the tech out. Okay, here we go. Really nice. I really love that sound. I love the kind of the subtone. The vibrato is great. The phrasing, the knowledge of the genre is really, really there. So my tip for you is Carrie, that I think you're at the stage where you can hit a couple of the notes which are really gonna stand out from the right, get to the point. You need to hit these key notes in the song which make a difference in the harmony and in the melody. So, for example, we're in concert F, aren't we? So you're in G on your tenor. Now, the second chord of Georgia is a chord 3, dominant 7, which goes to the relative minor. Now, if you hit the major third of that chord, that's really going to be a powerful note that you can use even if you're just noodling around the melody. So, for example, what are we in? G. Oops. Okay, so the key note for you is going to be the D sharp of the B7, which is the second chord. Now, if you just hit the notes of that chord, you could weave that into the melodies that you're playing around when you perform the song, and it's really going to make a big difference to the overall sound of your improvisation. So I'll show you what I mean. So these little important notes, which aren't in the major scale of the key, if you hit them melodically speaking when you're soloing, it can really make your solo and your improvisations come alive rather than just a C of major scale. So that's not to say you can't play beautifully and melodically on the major scale. Of course you can. But with a little bit of knowledge and just like getting your ears a little bit more tuned into that sound, you can hit those little key notes, which are going to make all the difference between this and this. So there's another example. When you get to that, just an old sweet song, and the melody's on the major seventh of the key. But if you hit the G sharp there, that's the third of E7 or E9 in this case, which is going to make a big difference to the melody. So that's my little tip there. Tip of the day. But absolutely wonderful. I really enjoyed that. And this is the third video that he sent in, and he couldn't decide which one he wanted. But I think that was a great one to send in. So congratulations. Round of applause for Harry. Right. Let's switch back to this. I need a TV producer. That's what I need. Ah, there she is. Okay, so is it time for your choice?
Not yet, no.
What, one more and then your choice?
Yeah, can we do this one more?
One more and then your choice.
We did have a couple more on the list, but I think we might be running out of time, mightn't we?
Yeah, is everyone still enjoying themselves, or are you getting bored yet? Just let us know in the let us know in the comments.
Just let us know, because there are a couple more on our list, so it's up to you. You let us know.
All right, tell you what, let's do one more and then we'll hit Mels Choice.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
So just quickly as well, though, I just wanted to mention a couple more people in the comments. Piper Joanne said he's played bagpipes for years, but he took up the saxophone in lockdown and he's 73 years old. So that's awesome to hear.
Oh, hey.
And
yeah, sorry, go on. I interrupted you.
Oh, okay. And Princess Ribena started playing at 46 and Stan Dunn is 82. So,
oh,
yeah,
wow. Cool.
Really
Love
nice.
that.
Really nice. Okay, so...
Can we skip one and go to number 10?
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah.
Because I want to get a few more girls on the show.
Yes.
And literally,
of
this is the
course.
only other girl submission we had.
Yes, let's do it. Yeah. Everyone's saying they're really happy staying it. Keep going. Mel's hilarious.
Trust you to be stealing my show.
Yeah, but
Don't forget,
I'm messing up so much, though.
so we've got this one, we've got Mels Choice, and then, guys, it's going to be open Q&A. So any questions you've got about saxophone that you want answered by a top pro saxophonist, well, pro saxophonist anyway, will be answered after these next two. So, do you know what, though?
Well, let me do number 9 as well.
All right, let's just make it really quick. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, what you need to do is just keep it short.
Okay, I'll keep it short. I promise I'll keep it short.
Keep it short. Get your tips in there and don't you play anything. Everyone's seen you play now.
Stop showing off.
Okay, right. So number 9. Yes, I'm glad we're doing this. It's Larry Katz. And Larry has submitted a video playing Europa. And this story for me, just listen to this story. So about me, if you're interested, I played clarinet as a boy and then added alto sax. I was only a sight reader. No teacher ever taught me musicality, ear training, nor did they tell me I was playing a transposing instrument, even though I had private lessons with a gigging woodwind pro. Imagine as a teenager in the mid to late 60s trying to play in a garage band with friends and you're playing an E-flat instrument reading the piano sheet music in concert key. I didn't understand why I sounded like crap. So I quit playing. And I didn't start up again for nearly 40 years. Bad teachers. Bad
Who
teachers.
was that teacher? Name and shame.
Shot.
Well,
So,
don't know about that.
maybe not shot. Yeah. Sorry, no, they shouldn't be shot. Wow. Okay, so let's erase that bit. So he didn't start playing again until 40 years after reading music theory books. Now I've been playing for about 14 years. Before the pandemic, my most recent band covered rock and soul. I'm looking to join a blues band as soon as we can get back out there. I have, here we go. I have Yamaha horns, soprano, alto, and tenor, and a P. Moriat baritone. Does that sound right? In the video, I'm playing a Yamaha YTS 62-2 with a sterling silver neck and a Theo Wanna Gaia 7-star gold MPC. Is that a mouthpiece again?
Yeah.
Yeah, with a Legia 2.5 reed. Is that wrong?
No, you're pretty close.
Okay. And then lastly, my musical goals are to improve and refine my personal sound and to expand my improvisational skills. I will be amongst the first to sign up for your new course. Your online videos and your courses are so valuable, in my opinion, and TTM is worth more than you charge. You're a great teacher. I know I'm a teacher too, retired college professor, animal behaviour, physiology and endocrinology. You bring joy to the craft of music in an inspiring way, and thanks for that. Thank you, Larry, for that.
Larry, that is so
story.
lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing all that. Quick little thing while I saw it in the comments. One Stack One is saying there, this is amazing. My 9-year-old son wants to send you guys a video of him playing. How can we do that? Use that URL right there. getyoursaxtogether.com/send a video. Okay, moving on. Right, we ready for Larry now?
Yeah.
Now that we've had his life story, that was great. Okay, here we go. This is Europa by Gatto Barbieri. Okay. Yes, Larry. Loving that. I love the emotion. Can we ask Larry, put in the comments about that painting in the background as well? Who painted that? Who painted that background painting? That's amazing.
Yeah, we really love that. I wondered if you painted it or if someone in your family did. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got to keep it quite short, so I'm going to give you one very short and very powerful but very important tip, and that is that in my professional opinion, your embouchure is too tight and you're squeezing the sound too much, especially because you play tenor, which has got the sort of loosest embouchure of all the saxes. And I'm sure you should know this from Total Tone Mastery. Naughty Larry, pay attention to teacher. So what I'd like you to do is relax your jaw and lower lip a lot more to let the reed really vibrate a lot more, okay? Very quick demonstration. I'm not going to play a load. I'm just going to show you what it sounds like with a tight embouchure and what it sounds like with a loose embouchure. I'm sure I've done this before. The tight embouchure will be much sharper in pitch, so when you start playing like this, you're probably going to have to push on a bit, okay? Right, let me demo this. So first of all, tight. Second of all, loose. What key were you in, by the way? I don't know. So that is my very short but very, 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 very powerful tip for you, Larry. Loosen off that bad boy. You are choking that sound like you're trying to strangle, you know, some kind of small mammal. You gotta let go. You gotta let the reed vibrate to its maximum capacity, and you gotta let that tenor sing. You gotta let every shred of metal be vibrating and let that reed be waggling to its maximum capacity. Don't clamp it shut. You got to let it you got to free up the reed and open up your sound. But fantastic. I really love that. Full of emotion, full of feeling, which is the most important thing of all. Okay.
Right. Larry says, thanks, my knuckles are properly wrapped. So, yes, well done. And it's lovely to see you in the comments there, Larry. And I want to give a big shout out to Greg from Greg's Bass Shed, who's popped in.
Hey, Greg's here.
Hey, Greg. If you're at all interested in bass, or if you know anybody who's interested in bass, pop on over to Greg's channel, Greg's Bass Shed. We love Greg.
We do.
We're going to do Pam next, yes?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So this is only the second one of the ladies we've got. So ladies, please get us your videos in. We want to see some of the girls out there. So this is Dr. Pam Bracewell Homer. She's also playing Georgia. Now, Wally corrected me. It's Georgia on my mind. Sorry about that. We've abbreviated it here. So hi, Jamie. Here is my submission for scrutiny. I've been playing for around 18 months. I'm a newly retired academic, so hopefully we'll now get more time for practice and development. I found this Georgia backing track and transcribed the basic melody for myself, but I wanted to try and make it my own with a little improvisation if possible. My sax hero is Ben Webster. I just love the velvety tone and vibrato when he's playing. My concern is to avoid the dreaded lip scoops, so I don't know if I'm guilty in this clip. I've listened to the artist you mentioned in your video notes, but I'm still not clear about the characteristics of that sound or how it's produced technically in order to avoid doing it. So I'd really value your feedback on this. Thank you for all your inspirational teaching, help and advice. All my learning has been on your site and others on YouTube, so soaking it up wherever I can. Yay, great.
Okie dokes. Right, cool. Lots of great information there. Thanks very much, Pam. Right, let's check it out. So Ben Webster, eh? Nice. Here we go. Wicked. Love that, Pam. Pam is the first person ever to play a left-handed saxophone. Kidding. It's just obviously flipped in the video. So, absolutely wonderful stuff. I love it. It's got lots of, plenty of feelings. A really sort of sweet. It's got a lovely emotion to it. Very kind of nostalgic and kind of romantic. What's the word for kind of romantic but slightly sad? Bittersweet, sort of feeling to it. So I really love that. Now then, you were asking about vibrato and the dreaded lip scoops. So I'll try and quickly cover this. A lip scoop is where you bend up to the note by increasing the pressure from your bottom jaw, your bottom lip onto the reed, and it goes wow. And it can be, well, we've talked about lip scoops on the show before. I don't think I need to say any more before I get myself into hot water. But for my money, it's not the most pleasant sound, but for some people it is, and that's cool. Anyway, the way to avoid lip scoops is to keep your embouchure set and to bend the pitch of the notes using your larynx. Okay? I sometimes struggle doing lip scoops, but I'm very good at doing larynx bend. So that is how you bend into a note, with your larynx. Instead of now, so the moral of the story is don't use jaw pressure to bend the pitch of the note. However, segueing straight into the second part of your question, which is about the vibrato. And this is seems like contradictory information, but you do use jaw pressure to do your vibrato, but you don't do it to use the scoops. So you slowly and subtly vary the pressure on the bottom of the reed by moving your jaw unit up and down, and that gives you the vibrato. Now, everything is sort of connected in your physiology. So when you move your jaw, you can kind of feel it connected to your neck, and the back of your tongue is anchored anyway, kind of just underneath your jaw unit. So it's a bit of a hot potato, this one. But the easiest way of teaching vibrato is probably to use your jaw, even though when you do it, you need to feel that connected feeling all the way down to your breath and through your larynx. But it's a jaw phenomena. I've got a whole video on it, so go and watch the vibrato video. That's how you do it. And if you want to sound like Ben Webster, you need to do a very large and kind of whiffly vibrato, which doesn't work quite so well on alto, I have to say. That was my Ben Webster and alto impression. So, bend the notes with your larynx. I forgot we're still in split screen, look. Bend the notes with your larynx and do the vibrato with your jaw. There we go. That answers the question. Round of applause for that wonderful performance of Georgia on My Mind, as Wally has quite rightly corrected us. Thanks for that, Wally.
Okay.
Right.
So,
it's your choice, love.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, there's only 2 more on the list as well as my
No, but look
choice.
at the time. We've got to get Q&A as well.
Okay.
We'll pick them up next month, don't
All
worry.
right. They'll be first on the list next month then. Okay. All right. So my choice of the month is from Brian. I don't know his surname, but I'm hoping that he got my email. And he's sent a video in with him playing along to La Bamba. And the reason I loved this one so much, he's from the US in Virginia. The reason I love this one so much, in fact, I'm going to tell you afterwards. Can I do that? Can I tell you afterwards?
Yeah.
All right. Can we?
So what do we do? Just play it?
Just play it, and then I'll tell you afterwards, and then you might be, because when I read what he said, I went, wow. So.
But why don't we just ask the people the question before we play it?
Okay. How long do you think he's been playing?
Right. Okay.
And don't go super short now, because realistic. Don't go like one day. Have. So
right.
Here we go.
Here we go. You telling me to shush?
Yeah, you weren't muted. We heard your keys.
Oh, I was trying to find the key. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
All right, so.
top of him. Well, aside from the fact that that's an awesome tune, we love that.
So
Okay, so Raphael says 6 months. Lockdown is good for that at least. Yeah. Who else is going to have a little guess now at how long he's been playing?
I tell you what, while you're all guessing, I'll give you, apart from saying what a fantastic performance that was, Brian, we don't even know your surname. If you are in the chat, let us know your surname. Apart from how fantastic that was, because your tuning is really good, your timing was really good. Wow, the timing was bang on. Obviously, notes really good. Now, the one little tip would just be with your articulation. You just kind of lost your tonguing. Let me just flip back to me. Where's that gone? You just lost your tonguing slightly on those repeated, what are these C's? On the repeated F's, because we're in the key of C, aren't we? So... nice crisp tongue, you don't need to hit the reed very hard. And you can watch my video on articulation. I've got 2 videos on articulation actually, and that should point you in the right direction. But you want to try and make it a bit more like this. Instead of... Sorry, I'm not supposed to be playing, am I? I'm supposed to be getting this show moving. So, absolutely fantastic playing. Mel is very shortly about to reveal how long he's been playing, but I'm going to do the round of applause because I thought that was absolutely awesome. So.
Right, so we've got a few guesses. So Raphael kicked it off by saying 6 months. Hannah said she's guessing about a year. Israel says close to a year. Oh, by the way, Israel, you can submit a video. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, my lovely. You said that you're in Nigeria, I think you said. Please, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, lovely. You can just pop us your video in and we'll get it on there. Hannah, 1 year. Alan says 6 months. Don says 2 years. Ronald says 8 months. Mad Tambi says 9 months. Mary Dunn says 2 years. All right, the big reveal.
I've not got any sound effects. I must have a sound effect for this one. I don't. Let's just do that.
Okay. 3 months.
Woo!
Woo! How good is that? Yeah, we love that sound. How good is that? 3 months, absolutely amazing. So that's why he was my pick of the month. To the
really
2
great
people
pick.
that we didn't get in, I apologise. We will get you top of the list next month.
Yeah, and after us, we're going to try and let people know if they're on the show. So we probably let those people know they're going to be on the show, and then they're not. Sorry about that,
Sorry.
but I do give people quite good value when you're on. So rest assured that when your video comes on next month, you will get good attention and hopefully some really useful tips. Okay, start getting your questions ready. I know that I've been seeing questions all the way up, so we'll try and flick back and find them actually. But we're going to go into Q&A right now. So let's see how we do this. Right. Okay. So I have seen a couple of questions. While I answer one, I'm going to line up one. Because, and then you can start looking for other ones. But if you've got a question, put a capital Q and then a space, and then we'll know that you've got a question, because it's cool that you're all kind of vibing with each other in the chat, and that's great. So if you've got a question, capital Q, then a space, and then put your question. But I'm going to back up a little bit and add this one from Lafende, and Mel's going to pronounce the surname.
Lafende Bremsflusigkeit.
Love it.
My apologies. I'm not the best at accents or knowing how to say things, so...
Okay, before the question disappears, how can I practice chord switches over 251? I've built me over each chord a Mixolydian scale and connect it with the other chord scales I've made and combine it with blues scales. Am I on a good way? Well, there's plenty of ways of skinning a cat, as we say, but... that's a bit of a strange expression, really, isn't it? Because who would, in their right mind, want to skin a cat? But if you did want to skin a cat, there's lots of different ways of doing it, and there's lots of different ways of approaching how to improvise on a 251. Now, I'm going to put the question back up on there. So there's no wrong there's no right. The danger of learning all the chords and scales is that you're going to sound a little bit too technical and like you're playing an exercise, and you're not going to do a lovely connected. I'm just going to answer this without like that. Okay. The danger is that you're not going to have a lovely connected, interesting melodic line through the chords. However, if you ignore all the chords and scales, the danger is you're just going to be going up and down your major scale, and that could be potentially quite flatland and boring. So I would say the best method is to incorporate a bit of both. You want to use your ears, you want to use your knowledge, and you want to use the knowledge of the greatest players. So number one, it's great that you know the chords and scales. Number two, go and transcribe some fantastic players, and then you'll learn how those things work together. Because, for example, if I'm playing a 2-5-1 in, I don't know, G for alto, if you know all the chords and scales, you might end up sounding like this on a 2-5-1. Which isn't particularly beboppy or interesting. If you don't know any of those chords and scales, you might end up just kind of... which, again, might end up a little bit flatland. So if you really want to play great 2-5-1s, you've got to combine the knowledge that you learn from your transcriptions with the knowledge that you know from chords and scales. If there's a preference, I would go transcribe and then make sense of it with the knowledge that you've got, rather than using your knowledge to drive your improvisation. But once you put them both together, the knowledge and the source, then you can start to play really nice, authentically melodic and cool licks. And so on and so forth. So I hope that answers that question. Okay, have we got any more questions? I've got to be quick fire here, I reckon.
So just a couple above that, that question there. We missed one out from Ugur.
Okay.
Can you see that one? That's it.
Yep.
Oh, just quickly, before you read that one, though, I just wanted to say there is a question. You don't need to get this one up. There is a question from Gang of Green Horns. If I could just say, if you can email us at info@getyoursaxtogether.com, and we will chat to you about that more over email.
Okay, cool. Right. Right. So I'm playing alto for a year. 3 days ago, picked up a tenor sax and started struggling with the low notes, especially F, E, D, and lower. Any tips on transitioning from alto to tenor? That's a really good question, actually. Tenor uses a looser embouchure than alto. That's just the way it works. And when you don't loosen off your embouchure a little bit more to play tenor, you could have problems with the ubiquitous thin tenor sound, which is the bane of my life. Those, that sort of thin and strained tenor sound is when you use an alto player's pressure on tenor. You've got to be super loose, man. So that's the main thing you need to transition with. Fingering wise, no problem. You should, in theory, the low notes should be easier on tenor as it goes. So I would also make sure that you get your sax checked and make sure you haven't got any leaks, and make sure it's pilot error and not machine error. Okay, who's next?
Okay, next up we have a question from Abdul Hakim Naala. He said, is it normal to have minor leaks on saxophone pads?
Okay, I'm not going to be able to post these questions up, so I'm just going to answer them. That's probably the best bet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. You ask the questions, I'll answer them. So, is it normal? Sorry, just say it again.
Is it normal to have minor leaks on saxophone pads?
It's something that happens a lot, yes. But whether you'd say it's normal or not, it's definitely not normal. This isn't a normal thing that should be happening with your sax, but it does tend to happen quite a lot, yes. So you definitely need to get rid of those leaks, take it to your repair shop and get them sorted as quick as you can. But it is It's not normal. Well, I was going to say it's not normal for pros, but I know quite a lot of pros whose horns leak like sieves, mentioning no names. But whether it's normal or not, it's definitely very bad. So get it sorted out. Okay, next.
Next up, from the lovely Hannah, how do you stop your mouth from getting smiley when playing high note?
Ah, smiley mouth, eh? I think the best way of answering that question would be to make sure that when you form your embouchure, the main strength of your embouchure is on these anchors around the side. And when you apply pressure to the side of your mouthpiece, instantly it makes your lips softer, as opposed to when you pull your lips to the side, it makes your lips tighter. So make sure that you're using side pressure on your embouchure to support the sound rather than up and down. You don't want to clamp up and down, you want to push in from the sides. I hope that helps, because smiley to me implies that you're pulling it to the side. You want to do the opposite. Okay, who's next?
Next up, I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss anybody out. One stack one, how do you transpose from one key to another? Is there an easy way to understand this?
Well, I need to think about that question. It's kind of a multi-layered question, but I suppose the best way of saying it is there's no easy way, really. You just have to practice in all different keys and gain more and more familiarity with them. So, the ones that you practice the most will feel like old friends and you kind of know all the notes. And then somebody will say, oh, can you play this in A flat? And suddenly it will feel like you're at a party and you don't know anybody, and the guests who are it's really the awkward guests that you don't know at that party are all the notes of A flat major. So you just spend some time in that party, you hang out with them, you chat to people, which is the equivalent of playing scales and exercises in that key, and then you'll be more familiar. And then when you come back in 6 months and you see all that gang again, you're like, hey, A flat major gang, I remember you, and you won't feel so uncomfortable. So I think it's just putting in the work. And no, there's no real shortcuts to that one, I'm afraid. You just got to graft it out.
Okay, next up from Mitchell Wyatt. As a new player, only about 3 weeks playing, working scales, etc., I know with new players it's common for the sound to be super loud. What is some advice to play quieter without choking the reed?
Right, okay. My experience is the opposite. The beginner players tend to play quite quiet, actually, because they can't get a very big sound. However, the way you play quieter is by, I know it sounds like super obvious, the way of playing quieter is by blowing less hard. So you just have to put a bit less air through the instrument, but still keep the air support the same. So I sometimes use this analogy of the kitchen tap on your house is connected to the water mains. So there's always tremendous water pressure behind that tap, or faucet, I guess you Americans would call it. But when you turn that tap on, or you lift the tap handle, the water gushes out because you've got mains pressure. But you can also lift the handle a little bit and a dribble would come out, which would be playing quietly, but you still have the same amount of air support as you did when you were playing loudly. But of course, the sound can fall off the cliff when you play really quietly. So that's just one way of doing it. Is you could play long notes but start as quiet as you can from nothing, and then crescendo as loud as you can and get quieter again. I'll try and demonstrate that without blowing the mic apart. And you'll notice in that demonstration that when I got louder, I took it right to the extreme where the sound starts to break apart. You should do that as well. Go from the very quietest to the very loudest where the sound is on the verge of breaking up, because you're not going to use those extremes of volume much, but it's good to have them there. So I hope that helps. Okay, who's next?
Next up, Gary Darms. I can play altissimo on my alto, but even though I work overtones virtually every day, I have never been able to hit an altissimo note on my tenor. Any tips?
Okay, like honestly, the best way I can answer that question is with a massive video that I've done in complete exhaustive detail on the topic, my Altissimo video. It's one of my most popular videos anyway, so you should be able to find it. If not, go to my technique playlist and find the video on Altissimo. And honestly, I'm not dodging the bullet, but that I could, I can't go into it in enough detail in this little segment, but I have gone into it in exhaustive detail in that video. So that's the answer to that question.
Yeah, we need to smash through these now. There's only a few more left.
Okay.
Alan Morris, Jamie, are you on Jules Holland this Friday with Joan?
Huh. No. Somebody else taking my gig. I didn't know she was doing it, actually. No, I'm not, is the answer to that question. So thank you for giving me the heads up and making me feel bad that I'm not on the gig. Next.
Next up. Mark Smith, is there a difference in a major blues scale and a minor blues scale?
Right, wicked question. I'll answer it as quickly as I can. Number one, go and watch my video on the blues, how to play blues sax. Number two is going to be in there in exhaustive detail. But very quickly, the minor blues scale and the major blues scale are the same notes, but your home note will be different. So the notes of, let's say, for example, A minor blues scale, which are A, C, D, E flat, E, G, and A. I'm not sure if you're going to hear the old roads, but are the same notes as the C major blues scale, but you just start it on C. So that would be C, D, E flat, E, G, A, C. Same notes, but you would have a different bass note being played, and your sort of home note, your root note would be different. Okay, next.
Theo Van Doren can push, I think he probably means, can you push down travel on a sax? Oh, sorry, no, I beg your pardon. Can push down travel on a sax be adjusted, e.g. make shorter to play notes faster?
I'm just trying to unravel this one, Theo. Can push down travel on a sax be adjusted to make shorter to play notes? Oh, do you mean the height of the keys? Maybe you mean like the travel between yeah. I believe that you can adjust the pad heights. Now we're getting into territory I'm not a specialist on. Is Wally still in the chat? You should ask him. He's probably quite good at that stuff. If you have the pads a bit more open, more sound comes out. But I think it has an effect on the tuning. And if you have your pads really close, it's easier to play. But it's about intonation. And it's a little bit beyond my pay grade, that one. I'm not enough of a repair guy. I need a geek. Give me a geek. Okay, next.
Okay, Richard Winkler. Is your equipment info posted on your site? I.e., I now know he means mouthpiece.
Yay!
And size, ligature?
Yeah. Yes! Yes!
Yeah. Reed Brown. You wouldn't believe I've been with this man for how long? 18 years. And I don't know any of this lingo. Selma Serial Series example 50. Anyway, look, you can see what the words say. You have a great sound on all.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now so you can replay the video. My alto sax is a Selma Mark 6, serial number 124,000 XXX. I play a Jody Jazz HR Rubber 8-star mouthpiece. My reed is a Java Red 3.5. My ligature is a Van Doren MO. Incidentally, I was recommended, not personally, but I got the idea of getting a Van Doren MO from Wally. So big up Wally for that one. It works great. So that's my alto setup, he said, hurriedly putting his reed back on. Why did I take my reed off? I know exactly what the reed is anyway. Tenor sax is Selma Mark 6, serial number 227,000 XXX, which is one of the last Mark 6s they ever made. In fact, they were already making Mark 7s. So it's a very, very late Mark 6. My mouthpiece is... My mouthpiece is a vintage Otolink 8-star Florida model with USA. I don't know if it'll... it's not like my camera, it won't focus. But it's a vintage Florida Autolink 8-star. The ligature is a Rovner Versa, and I use, again, Java 3.5 reeds, but I do also have some Leger. I've got a Leger 3 and a Leger something else. So sometimes I use Leger. Don't like them so much in tenor. Sometimes I use them in alto. That is my setup, so that helps. Okay, next.
All right. Miguel Pico, hi Master, greetings from Colombia. I'm guessing, how do you internalize the different colors of the scales, major and minor, etc., and how do you use this for a correct way in one solo?
That's too much of a question. That's too much of a broad question. How do I choose? I mean, if it's a major chord, you use a major scale, minor chord, minor scale. I mean, I know that much. Yeah, I don't know what to say other than all that stuff is going to be in my course. It's just so much to answer in one go, honestly. How I choose what notes I play in improvisation, that's like a mammoth topic, which is why I've got a mammoth course about it. Okay, next.
Next up, there's just a couple more now. Eduardo Pizarro, altissimo and alto, at least for me, are easier. Oh, sorry, that wasn't a question. That's just okay. Eduardo responding to somebody. Thank you very much for that, Eduardo. Terence Burney, I'm only 9 years old. I've played for 1.5 years. Is it too early for me to practice altissimo? I work on my overtones every day, but I cannot get any altissimo.
Fantastic. I love it. You're like the Xavier, my little dude, Xavier, that I teach. You're not too young to practice anything. Definitely practice altissimo. I work on my overtones every day, but I can't get any altissimo. Yeah, I wouldn't stress out about it too much. It's something that might just come one day. So my advice is, try it now and again. If it doesn't work, don't stress out about it. Concentrate on on all the other stuff, and you can follow my videos. And well done, stick at it. If you're already playing by 9, you're going to be an absolute sax hero by the time I even picked up a sax. Never mind the people who are starting in their 50s. Okay, next question.
Okay, we've got one more question then. So this is from Erica Galt, and she says, when there's a little upgrade to her question underneath as well. When should you upgrade your sax? I'm an intermediate who really loves the sound of instruments like the vintage Reborn and other professional saxes, but is that really necessary at this point? And down the bottom, she says, I should rephrase that. When should you upgrade from a student sax to a professional one if you're an intermediate player?
Well, it's a really good question. And you should know that the further away from your larynx you get, the less important the item is for your sound. So what happens in here and in here is the defining factor for how good you sound on sax, which is why Total Tone Mastery, my course, focuses on that. The next most important thing is your mouthpiece. Ligature is very unimportant as long as it works. The neck is the next most important thing, and then the sax. So it's the least important thing is the sax you've got. So I don't know what your setup is, but it's probably not necessary to upgrade, anytime soon, possibly ever. But if you do want to, go right ahead, but just have realistic expectations about the result it's going to have. I and many others like Jay at Better Sax, and I'm sure loads of other people have done videos where we play our mouthpiece on a 200 quid sax and a 6,000 quid sax, and they sound virtually no different. So just have a realistic expectation about what having a new sax will do. But if you want to buy a shiny new sax, totally cool. When I'm a millionaire, I'm going to buy myself a few shiny saxes just for fun. But the most important thing you can do is develop your sound. Now, if you had the money between getting a new sax and buying Total Tone Mastery, I would buy Total Tone Mastery, but then I would say that, wouldn't I? But it will make a much bigger difference. Okay, next.
That's it, baby. We're done. Yeah.
Woo!
Woo!
Wowza, what a session that was.
Epic show.
That was absolutely epic. Right, let me just do the announcements before we go. So remember, get your sax together. GetYourSaxTogetherStore.com for your merch. I'm going to re-steam through these. Improvisation Mastery coming in a few weeks. It's going to be super, super cool. Don't forget to go and check out the masterclass. Next month, I'll be back with my proper camera, and I'm going to look better than Mel. Well, I'll never be better looking, but at least my quality will be better.
That's never going to happen, baby. Never going to happen.
Somebody said earlier in the comments, it's like watching the Chuckle Brothers, me and you.
I saw that as well. Ian Sims has been a cheeky monkey today, I must say. He says, I'm going to be an expert. He's been putting some funny comments. Earlier on, you were answering a really serious question, and I can't... what did he say? Oh, yeah, I can't wait for the next one when Mel will have all the patter down. So thank you for that.
So if you want to submit your video, you can do so using that URL there. We will be back next month for more fun. By next month, I reckon Improvisation will be, Improvisation Master will be out. Woo! Imagine that. So I'm going to hand over to you so you can say goodbye first.
Thank you very much, everybody, for your lovely comments and for all the fun and for supporting each other. And yeah, please get your videos in. It's so much fun doing these, and it's really lovely to see. And it's really good of you to share yourself with us. So thank you very much.
Cool. So it's good night from her, and it's good night from me. Anybody that used to watch the two Ronnies will recognise that one. So until next month, make sure that you practice hard, practice smart, and most of all, enjoy your music. I look forward to seeing you next month live, and in the meantime, you'll get all my usual cool content on the channel. So thank you so much for joining me. I didn't mention buy me a coffee there. If you're getting value, go to the link and chip in and buy us a coffee if you think you're getting good value from these sessions. If not, no problem.
Can I just say, two people now, Mark's just said, can Mel do her own show? And I'm sure somebody else said that at the top as well. So maybe I will do that.
We should have a little tagline we say, so practice hard.
What is it? Practice smart?
and then we say and enjoy your music together, right? Now that we've rehearsed it. Right, ready?
Am I saying smart?
Yeah, you say practice smart, then let me say enjoy your music together, right? Okay. So just everyone pretend you didn't see that. Until next month, practice hard.
Practice smart.
And enjoy. Enjoy your music.
Enjoy your music. One more time.
One more time. Right, ready? So, thank you very much for watching. And until next month, practice hard.
Practice smart.
And enjoy your music. That was rubbish.
Oh my God. We'll get it done for next month. We've got
to do one more. Ready? Until next month, practice hard.
Practice smart.
And enjoy your
music. Oh. Is there a delay with us?
Okay. Practice hard.
Practice smart.
And enjoy your music.
We need to give it up.